Donald Trump's presidency has been about three things: the grift, revenge on his political enemies, and now interior design, I guess. Yes, Donald Trump is more focused on making things in the White House look uglier than ever and naming buildings than actually doing the job, which he is unable to do. So I guess that's kind of good. But the latest example of Donald Trump taking up some very strange hobby as an effort to distract from how unpopular he is, or his Jeffrey Epstein scandal, took place at the Kennedy Center today. And it immediately backfired as an old, broken down Trump was unable to speak. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into that moment of cognitive decline with Trump, I want to see where it all started with a fake conversation he was describing. It's very weird.
We officially announced the incredibly talented artists who will be celebrated later this year at the 2025 Kennedy Center Honors. It's going to be a big evening. I've been asked to host. I said, I'm the President of the United States. Are you fools asking me to do that? Sir, you'll get much higher ratings. I said, I don't care. I'm President of the United States. I won't do it. They said, please. And then Susie Wells said to me, sir, I'd like you to host. I said, okay, Susie, I'll do it. That's the power she's got. But I just, so I have agreed to host. Do you believe what I have to do? And I didn't want to do it, okay? They're going to say, he insisted. I did not insist. But I think it will be quite successful, actually.
This kind of reminds me of when you hear Republicans always talk about walking around at the airport. You know, you hear that a lot from Don Jr. and Laura Trump, when they always say a story like, I was walking at the airport and someone came up to me and said, I love you so much and keep fighting for us. This is definitely an imaginary conversation. This did not happen. If anything, Donald Trump was begging to host because he wants to play TV and play pretend rather than actually do the job, because he doesn't give a shit about us. And so I know what actually happened was Trump was begging, let me host. I just want to be on TV. I just want people to like me and smile. And they're like, you're going to look like an idiot, but you already do. So I don't know, go ahead. But this is Trump's obsession. This is what he wants to be doing. Imagine if this was Joe Biden or Barack Obama saying, you know what? I think I'm going to take a couple days off and I'm going to put on a TV show. This is just idiotic. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. It does nothing to address the issues of affordability that Trump ran on. This doesn't get us an Epstein list, but it does give Donald Trump an opportunity to list off Sly Stallone movies, which he did like a mumbling idiot.
Great guy. Next, we look forward to honoring three-time Oscar nominee, Golden Globe Award winner, an action movie icon, and a friend of mine. He's a very unique man. He's somebody that doesn't do these things. I said, I wonder if he'll accept, because some people don't really want to be honored. They don't care. But he was very honored to be honored, I will tell you. He's a very special guy. A real talent, never been given the credit for the talent. There was nobody else could have done the roles that he did like he did. I'm not even close, and they've tried, and they didn't work out too well. His name is Sylvester Stallone. Celebration that we're having. So it's 250 years. So we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, and we have the 250th anniversary celebration, all in this administration, and it's an honor that we were able to not be allowed to do what we were illegally and what we were supposed to do, and that was we had a great election in 2020. We won the election by a lot, but it was a rigged election.
This is just the incompetence and idiocy on display, really like we've never seen it before. But again, Trump just needs a distraction. And when I say that, I don't just mean for the national media. Like, this isn't just about the mainstream media paying attention to something else, Donald Trump shifting focus so he doesn't have to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. This is also just like a toy that his staff dangles out in front of him. It's like, oh, Donald, smile, Donald. We're going to let you go and ramble about the movies you like and talk about the musicals. Like, this is a distraction for Trump. Like, he's so childish that that's what he needs. He needs happy Trump time. I'm serious. This is part of like his staff keeping him happy, letting him talk about the things that make little Donald's heart so happy. And part of that was a rock band that he doesn't even know the name of, as he was unable to speak in this clip.
And it's an honor to present Kiss. Thank you very much. Got it? Yeah. Thank you.
He is clearly in cognitive decline. He is unable to read. He was unable to read through most of that press conference. He is stumbling. He is mumbling. He is bumbling. He has no idea what he's saying unless he locks in on one of his little fascinations like grass, and then he's really able to talk.
We're doing that and doing some other things, and we're going to also fix up a place called Washington, D.C. We're going to make it so beautiful again. We're going to be redoing the parks, redoing the grass. You know, grass is a lifetime, like people have a lifetime. And the lifetime of this grass has long been gone when you look at the parks where the grass is old, tired, exhausted. We're going to redo the grass with the finest grasses. I know a lot about grass because I own a lot of golf courses, and if you don't have good grass, you're not in business very long, Lindsey Graham. By the way, you have very good poll numbers, Lindsey. I just saw. Congratulations.
This is our president, and he's talking about grass and Lindsey Graham's poll numbers at a time in which we see inflation spiking, economic turmoil. Donald Trump doesn't really seem to care. And the economic turmoil is about to get worse, by the way. It's not just interior decorating he likes to screw up, it's our economy as well. And Lawrence O'Donnell broke that all down, and I want to take a look right here.
Paul Krugman is back by popular demand, even though one prominent viewer with no influence over this program attacked Professor Krugman after his last appearance here. Donald Trump leveled an insult at Paul Krugman, far worse than anything ever said about a Nobel Prize winning economist, but not as bad as many of the things Donald Trump has said about me. Professor Krugman will be given an opportunity here tonight to reply to Donald Trump's insult, if he dares. But we begin our discussion with some of the economic news of the day. Core inflation, which excludes food and energy prices, rose by 3.1% last month, the fastest annual pace in 5 months, the New York Times reports. The July data, which was released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, provides a clear sign that businesses are being affected by tariffs. Some have begun to pass along those related costs more readily to their customers after a prolonged period of muted price gains. The economy is weaker because of tariffs, said Stephen Stanley, chief U.S. economist at Santander. Businesses are being very cautious. They're not investing. They're not hiring, he added, noted that consumers were also pulling back in the face of higher prices. And predictably, at 10:24 a.m., Donald Trump tweeted, quote, "Tariffs have not caused inflation or any other problems for America other than massive amounts of cash pouring into our Treasury's coffers. 100% of the tariff cash pouring into the Treasury comes from the United States of America, and only the United States of America. No foreign country has ever paid and never will pay a tariff imposed by this country. And there is only one president in the history of the United States who publicly insists that he doesn't comprehend that simple fact about tariffs. Every penny of the $130 billion that the United States Treasury has collected in tariffs so far this year has been paid by Americans, American companies and individuals who have imported foreign goods into this country. They have paid those tariffs at the port of entry here in the United States. And they paid the tariffs directly to the federal government officials who collect those tariffs from Americans who pay them at the ports of entry here in the United States. And so if a federal court of appeals and the United States Supreme Court agree with the United States Court of International Trade, the experts on tariffs, and rule that those tariffs are illegal and unconstitutional, all of the tariff money that has been collected might have to be refunded and would go to Americans, which makes Donald Trump's lawyer's letter to the appeals court hearing the case against his tariffs all the more absurd. The United States Court of International Trade, which is the federal court that specializes in international trade, unanimously ruled that the Trump tariffs are illegal and unconstitutional. That case is now on appeal, and Donald Trump's Justice Department lawyer actually told the appeals court today in writing, quote, if the United States were forced to pay back the trillions of dollars committed to us, America could go from strength to failure the moment such an incorrect decision took effect. So that's Donald Trump's lawyer lying and telling the court that trillions of dollars have been committed to the United States. That's a lie. And telling the court that if the $130 billion in tariff money illegally collected by Donald Trump has to be returned to Americans, that would be a problem. Donald Trump cut the taxes of the highest earning Americans by $1 trillion, gave them $1 trillion. The Trump lawyer's letter to the appeals court said, the president believes that a forced dissolution of the agreements could lead to a 1929-style result. In such a scenario, people would be forced from their homes, millions of jobs would be eliminated, hardworking Americans would lose their savings, and even Social Security and Medicare could be threatened. That's the Trump prediction for giving Americans back the $130 billion that Donald Trump illegally took from them. It's a tiny amount of money within the context of the full American economy and the federal budget of the United States of America. The Wall Street Journal mocked the ridiculous Trump letter to the court as, quote, a doomsday tariff letter today. Today's report on inflation by the Bureau of Labor Statistics was the first since Donald Trump fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics for telling the truth. Yesterday, in an interview with Fox, Donald Trump's choice to lead the Bureau of Labor Statistics, E.J. Antoni, said, until it is corrected, the BLS should suspend issuing the monthly job reports, but keep publishing the more accurate, though less timely, quarterly data.
Is this really what it's come to? Really? We have an idiotic president, unaware of the world around him, making snap decisions on issues that either make our White House look uglier most of the time, but then the other half of the time wreck the global economy. That's what's happening. Donald Trump just gets to play around. It's what it is. I know it's sinister, I know it's evil, but it's also embarrassing and stupid sometimes. And it is just so tiring. But we are going to continue to call it out on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.